The Brooklyn Nets are back, baby. The first preseason game starts tonight in a little bit under an hour. Training camp has concluded and Nets basketball tips off. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brooklyn Boys Show. I am Josh Woolever. On today's show, we break down and preview everything you need to know coming into the Nets preseason opener against Hapoel Jerusalem, an Israeli professional basketball team. Before tonight, 8 p.m. is the tip-off. First Nets preseason game. First time in well over 3 months since the Summer League, we get to see this Nets team play live basketball. And if nothing else, we get to see the ground and the foundation begin to be set on where this team moves for the 2025-26 season. If nothing else, we get to see just a little bit of where people are at, what a couple of the lineup mixes will look like, who could play a significant role, who needs to spend a little bit more time on Long Island. There is still a two-way spot up for bids, and ultimately, in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, this Nets team needs to trim their roster down to 15 guys on standards and 3 more guys on two-ways for a grand total of 18. So 3 guys are on the chopping block. Training camp has come and gone. We are sorry for a little bit of a break in content. Connor and I have been busy, but super excited to be back on one of the biggest days. Training camp, the last 2 weeks were in the book. We broke down all of that and some media day quotes on our last episode. So head over there on YouTube if you haven't done so yet to see what we put out there. We break down media quotes, a couple expectations for some guys. But man, the Brooklyn Nets are back. And we, as a collective community, could not feel better. And truly, doesn't matter what they do tonight. Doesn't matter what this preseason looks like. The excitement will still be in the air no matter how bad this team looks. And today, it's the first of the preseason, the first and only game at the Barclays Center of this preseason. Tonight, in just about 35 minutes from the Barclays Center, tip-off is at 8 against Hapoel Jerusalem, an Israeli basketball team that, to be frank, I don't know much about. I don't know any of the players. I don't know the coaching. I don't know what to expect from this team, but it's an international team playing an NBA team. So that should sum it up right there, how this game should go. The Nets should win this game. I'm not going to say in dominant fashion because there is more than a lot to figure out in terms of rotation, in terms of who plays, who doesn't for Jordy Fernandez. We'll break down that, the starting lineup in just a matter of moments. There's a ton to figure out for this Nets team, but if you get a roster full of 20 guys that can make an NBA training camp, you should be handling an Israeli basketball team pretty easily. Last time the Nets welcomed an Israeli team, I believe it was 3 years ago at the Barclays Center, and they won by 35 or so. So the Nets have a history of playing overseas teams. We've already seen it a couple times happen in the NBA. The Knicks and the Sixers already played internationally to start this preseason. In Abu Dhabi, there's been an Australia game, I believe, with the Pelicans in it. So NBA is obviously trying to expand. Nets welcoming an Israeli team, but at the end of the day, I don't care who the opponent is. It's preseason basketball. So to me, this is all about how the Nets play. It's definitely not about the final score. It'll be a little bit embarrassing if they lose. And honestly, it'll show you just how little this Nets team has in terms of continuity and in terms of readiness at the NBA level. But at the end of the day, to me, this Nets team better take care of business against a team that is not even from the NBA. Mr. Connor Long in the background, popping in with the interesting sound bites. Thank you, Connor. But yeah, big boom. 5 big booms for the Nets kicking things off here in the preseason. What I do want to get into is the starting lineups announced again. Another big boom. How many big booms we got, Connor? Another one. Another one. Another one. Okay. There you go. The starting lineups. Brian Lewis of the New York Post put this out earlier today. Ben Surratt, Cam Thomas, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., Nick Claxton. And the only thing that surprises me there that, doesn't look like what you would have on an opening day starting lineup is obviously Ben Surratt. Look, we've heard nothing but great things about this guy throughout camp on media day. He's been spoken of highly. Everyone around the organization, from front office to coaches to fellow players, Ben Surratt has been a name at the top of everyone's list for surprising rookies. But at the end of the day, he is unpolished, not NBA ready, and this is not a guy you expect to see in the starting lineup beginning of the Brooklyn Nets season. But Cam Thomas, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter, and Nick Claxton could very well be the other four outside of the point guard spot, which is probably going to be Yegor Gilman when he's healthy again. Could very well be the four on opening day. So that's going to be extremely interesting. We get an early glimpse into what the continuity looks like. Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton, the only two returners of that lineup. So let's see if they have a little bit of chemistry. Obviously, Claxton last year didn't play his best basketball, and Cam Thomas was hurt 3/4 of the year in the contract disputes, but you saw a lot of Cam Thomas at Media Day, which I know was a question that got thrown out a ton in the chat over the summer. Is Cam Thomas going to be awkward at Media Day? The Nets are not going to feature him. Cam Thomas is here. Whether you like it or not, Cam Thomas is playing basketball for the Brooklyn Nets. And obviously, you would have loved to see the trade, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be happening. So that starting five, extremely interesting. Mann, Porter, the two vets getting their first starts in Nets jerseys. I expect them to play a big role in training camp, in the preseason, now and then moving into the regular season. Michael Porter Jr. probably going to be the leading scorer on this team. He probably takes a little bit of a step back with Cam Thomas having an elevated role on the squad. But yet again, Terrence Mann, there's a guy that, another vet, probably not going to play as big of a role, probably not going to get as many minutes as MPJ, but no doubt he aids in the development. No doubt he's a strong supporter. And then Ben Surratt, man, that is a guy I'm super excited to see tonight, see the rest of the preseason, probably see a little bit in Brooklyn, but a lot on Long Island this year. Again, developmental year for him. You want to see him take strides forward. Reason you don't keep him on the Brooklyn roster the whole time is, he's not going to get that much time in. So you would much rather ship him off to Long Island, see him when he's ready. But Ben Surratt, man, I think today will be a telling tale. We have heard a ton from inside the Nets organization about how happy they are for Ben Surratt, how great he's looked. He has been holding his part through team drills, team activities, and team overall just team building. Ben Surratt, man, an extremely interesting name, and playing against his hometown Israelis tonight. Question from Crater, 861-201. Game will be, where can we watch this game? Game will be streaming live on the Yes Network. So if you're in the New York metropolitan area, easy, you got it on Yes, where you get all your usual net games. Gotham Sports app should have it as well. If you're out of market, I don't even know if that's a league pass game. I have no clue how they do the media rights for these small preseason games. But New York area, Brooklyn area, you're watching it over on Yes. Smash a like and hit subscribe on your way into the building here. Throw questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. It's the pregame show, the first of the year for the Brooklyn Boys show. First preseason pregame show of the year. We'll have postgame either later tonight, probably tomorrow morning, but we shall see. That will actually probably be later tonight after the game, 8 o'clock tip-off. Probably going to be over sometime around 10:30, so stay tuned right here on this channel. Again, we had a brief step aside during a part of that training camp time, but now it's time to see what this team's all about, and we are back. We are here to stay with the content. coming your way each and every day. Smash the like and hit subscribe. If you haven't done so yet, starting lineup: Ben Saroff, Cam Thomas, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., and Nick Claxton rounds that out with the 5. Little injury report: 3 guys not playing, all 3 significant to this Nets team. Haywood Highsmith, who you knew coming in when you got him from Miami, he wasn't going to be ready right off the bat, so that's no surprise. Yegor Gioman, we learned about that tendon issue in the ankle, that was at Media Day. Sean Marks revealed that, or it was a fascia something. I can't remember the exact doctor terminology, but Yegor Gioman will be out for this game. Let's see if he can play at all in the rest of the preseason. It's a plantar fascia tear. That is the official doctor lingo on that one. Plantar fascia tear. And I know it has to deal lower part of the ankle. So he's not playing first preseason game. He should be good to go by opening day in 3 weeks or so. But for now, sideline, that's fine. Take it easy. And again, he'll probably replace Ben Saroff when he gets in. And then Drake Powell, who we learned about a couple days ago, wouldn't be playing in this game, but he is expected to debut in one of the 2 ensuing games in Macau, China, according to Brian Lewis of the New York Post, Nets insider there. Jordi Fernandez was non-commental on Yegor Gioman, but said he was, quote-unquote, progressing well. So that's the insider scoop on the injury report. Powell won't play. Hopefully he gets back to it in China. He is one of the more exciting rookies as well. So that should be a ton of fun to not only look out for in the preseason, but he's a guy that'll bring energy to this floor, as will I think Gioman, as will I think Saroff. I think he brings energy to the floor. Probably the best defender the Nets picked up, at least best solidified defender right now, the guy in the draft process. I mean, you look back at what he did at UNC. All around great on-ball defender, perimeter, working through screens offensively, 3-and-D wing guy. So excited for Drake Powell and his future. Smash the like and hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Chris B, CB Jet fan in the house, always in Jake's chat. Appreciate you. Chris, you're the best. He says like, support, subscribe to the channel. Chris, my friend, couldn't have said it better myself. You're the best. Thanks as always for tuning in. Want to get your takes in. Want to say whatever you want. Nets NBA, throw those in the chat. Streaming to you live on YouTube. It's the Brooklyn Boys Show here on Saturday, October 4th. Start of the preseason, baby. Hapoel Jerusalem comes to the Barclays Center for the only Nets home preseason game. Again, after this, they fly for 2 in China against the Phoenix Suns. I believe that will be Friday and Sunday. And those are both early morning games. So wake up early if you want to watch the Nets in China. Unfortunately, Friday is work day for most of you, school day for me. So we'll probably do post-game Thursday, I would guess. And I'll probably tape delay the game, watch it when I get home from school. Post-game might be Friday night or something. We'll figure out the details on that as we progress. But first pregame show of the year. Smash the like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Right here, streaming live on the Brooklyn Boys Show. And then right after that, Friday, Sunday, same thing, Suns. Macau, China, to play the Suns again. And you're also looking at, I believe, a 7 a.m. start time. So you're talking about rising early if you're a true Brooklyn Nets fan. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Questions, comments, thoughts, they go in the chat. We say what's up to all you guys. Claude's in the building. Creators in the building. Chris B in the house. Brian Robinson in the house. You guys are the best. We'll get to your questions, comments, thoughts in just a couple of minutes. Couple of notes on what I'm looking for in this game. I said it earlier. Don't know much about Hapoel Jerusalem. Interested to see what they bring to the table. Interesting to see what their continuity looks like. But to me, Jordi Fernandez said every healthy player is expected to play over the span of the next 2 or 3 games. But really what I think he means by that is he wants to get as many mix-ups in as he can. Look at what he has in terms of lineup orientations all around, who fits with who, what schemes go well with what guys. And overall, at the end of the day, you got to trim that roster down. Dariq Whitehead is the first name that comes to mind when you talk about guys that need to show you something. Again, the injuries have been a concern his entire NBA career, his entire college career. One of the best coming out of high school, but again, prove it or lose it this year for Dariq Whitehead. He is out of chances for me. If things don't turn around fast for him, I have no problema with cutting ties with Dariq Whitehead sometime in the future. Obviously, you got to give him his chance now. Obviously, you got to give him your chance start of the season. But for a guy that had that much potential, former 20-something overall pick in the NBA draft, guy that has the lower leg injuries that are going to kill you as a small, speedy guard with hops. That's just the problem for Dariq Whitehead. Hopefully, he rebounds. Hopefully, this is his breakout year. But I feel like we've been saying that since he got drafted. So, Net fans, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath on anyone being constant, being solid this year. The 4-5 center power forward combo mix-ups, sloshes, whatever way you want to put it. We have Michael Porter Jr. and Nick Claxton in there at the 4-5 to start things off, and that's how you probably expect the Nets to roll come the start of the season. That's probably the best lineup they have in terms of skill and in terms of winning you basketball games. But again, this Nets lineup isn't going to be afraid to go deep. I'll say it again. Danny Wolf, extremely interesting. Should be fun to see what he does. Drew Timme, a guy that, despite what many Nets fans think, again, he's a roster lock in my eyes. So I want to see him get a ton of run. Hopefully prove me right. I want to see Noah Clowney. I definitely want to see Day'Ron Sharpe fresh off of that contract. And hopefully he takes that next step, maybe even overtakes Nick Claxton for that starting center role by the end of the season. Maybe even Claxton is shipped off at the deadline if you see a guy like Sharpe do enough. But the 4-5 center mix should be so interesting. Wolf, Claxton, Porter Jr. I think you're going to end up sliding Clowney in there. And when you also add in Zags legend, the stash Drew Timme, probably going to be playing more power forward. But again, I mean, I think this is a situation where the Nets are constantly getting new lineups in, subs every whistle, taking their timeouts, getting prepped, getting new lineups in, getting new schemes in. This is all about figuring out what works for Jordi Fernandez's squad. That's what these preseason games are for, figuring out what and who works. So let's see how that plays out in game number 1, immediate live post-game analysis right after the show here. Michael Porter Jr., another name you got to look at. I don't think he gets a ton of run here in the opening preseason game. A guy that you kind of know what he is at the NBA level. You saw it in Denver when they won the championship. You know his three-point shooting ability. But I do want to see the kind of elevated role he plays. I do really want to see how he and Cam Thomas spread the ball to one another as shoot first kind of guys. Michael Porter Jr. obviously took that step back in a Denver system where that wasn't his job, where he had Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, the MVP, around him. It wasn't his job to score all the time, but obviously coming over to Brooklyn, his mindset probably is take that next step in the scoring game, be the Nets' number 1 scorer, and if you're Cam Thomas, you got to play that your way into that next contract, and obviously that's not going to be a thing that happens in the preseason, but there's no doubt Cam Thomas wants to be a lights-out scorer, so ball distribution brings me to my next point. Should be a huge one. You have Ben Suraf running the point, so let's see how his passing works out. That was something that the Nets got a lot of in the NBA draft in terms of passing guards. But let's see how Ben Suraf fares in that role, running the 1. Michael Porter Jr., Cam Thomas, the 2 of them should be extremely interesting. Let's see if they're playing as a team or if they're just trying to match each other's 3-ball potential. And then again, the lineup mixes, not just at the 4-5, all around. I want to see guys constantly getting in and out. This is a game where, you'd love to see if he was playing Yegor Zeman played the 3, which has been an idea floating around Nets world. Will he step into that role this season? Probably not in my eyes, but if there's any time to try it with another guy you're thinking of something like that, perfect. This is the time. This is when you do it. You commit to it. You see what's going on. You see if that's going to be a role you can hop into for the regular season. Lineup mixes all around should be fun. Smash the like and hit subscribe. It's the first Nets preseason game, baby. 20 minutes until tip-off. We will take a quick break. Come right back, answer every question, comment, thought, and then send you off for the first Nets game of the year. Let's go, baby, on the Brooklyn Boys Show.
You are listening to the Brooklyn Boys Show with your host, Connor Long. If you're enjoying the show, drop us a sub and leave a like. It helps more Nets fans find us. Quick break, then back to talking Brooklyn Nets basketball.
Today's episode of the Brooklyn Boys Show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Shoreline Sports Cards, located at 137 Main Street in Port Washington, New York. Whether you're chasing the newest hobby boxes, grabbing singles, or just want to talk cards with fellow collectors, Shoreline is the spot. They've got a massive selection across basketball, football, baseball, and more, with new inventory hitting the shelves every single week. If you're local, make sure to stop by the shop at 137 Main Street in Port Washington and check it out for yourself. If you're not in the area, no worries at all. You can still keep up with Shoreline by following them on Instagram, eBay, and whatnot for product drops, live breaks, deals, and hobby updates. All links are right in the description down below. Huge thanks to Shoreline Sports Cards for supporting the show and the Brooklyn Nets community.
You indeed are listening to the Brooklyn Boys Show, streaming to you live on YouTube, live on Twitter. Smash the like and hit subscribe. We got 65 of you guys in the house. Hop over right below this video, like and subscribe. Check out Shoreline. Their links are in the description below. You guys are the best. One last call to get questions, comments, thoughts, and we start with Claude, who wins today's early bird prize. 30 minutes before the show, Claude says, Hapoel Jerusalem is a professional Israeli basketball team that's familiar with each other. The Nets are a motley crew of spare parts. I would be surprised if Hapoel lose. The Nets are probably a motley crew of spare parts compared to other NBA teams, but compared to an Israeli basketball team that is, the way the Nets look at it, probably amateurs. Obviously, they're not. They're a professional team, but the competition disparity is just so great that I don't see the Nets having trouble with this game. Yes, they have a ton to figure out. Yes, there's continuity issues, but come on. The talent disparity should do enough. Claude says hopefully the Nets don't look like a dress rehearsal for a disaster this preseason. It's going to be a disaster of a season. Claude, if you can't beat an Israeli basketball team in the preseason, I don't know who you can beat. So this is going to be a tough one to wrap your head around, especially if the Nets play non-competitive basketball. But at this point, just like we saw in the Summer League, it wasn't about winning basketball games. It was about individual performance, learning who moves on, learning who's a cut candidate come the end of the preseason, learning who plays what role on this team. So it is, while it is all about the individual performance, team chemistry is a huge part of it. That's what plays in to some of this for sure. So you would love to see the Brooklyn Nets continue to climb up that ladder in terms of playing well, even if it doesn't mean adding in wins and losses in that column. But again, I feel like you got to beat an Israeli team. Chris B in the house. Like, subscribe to support the channel. Already went over those. Claude says, beware of grandiose expectations. Again, an Israeli team. If you missed it, Yes Network in the local area. Claude says, overglazing Ben Suraf. Why, LOL? Well, none of what I said about Ben Suraf was my words. That was the front office, the management, the other players talking about how great they thought Ben Suraf was in the preseason. I'd love to see it, but I'll see it when I believe it. They can say whatever they want about whoever they want. Sean Marks told us on Media Day that they had extremely productive conversations with Cam Thomas. Everyone was on the same page, and there was no disparity. Like, yeah, please. There's just no way on earth I'm believing that. So, again, I'll see it when I believe it. Ben Suraf has a ton of potential and should be great to see him run the one, but let's see it actually happen. Brian Robinson, good job, Josh. Go Nets. Appreciate the kind words, Brian. Go Nets indeed. First preseason game, 15 minutes away, folks. I'll sign off in about 5. Let you get over to your televisions. Let you get over to your phones to cue that thing up. And let's get it, baby. It's finally here. It's been a long wait. It sure has. You can't deny it. It has been a long wait. We've been through ups and downs. We've been through the whole qualifying offer saga with Cam Thomas. We've been through the whole Zaire Williams and Day'Ron Sharpe re-signings. We've been through the entire Michael Porter Jr. publicity debacle together. We've been through trade rumors. We've been through talks. But the first preseason game is upon us, baby, in 15 minutes from the Barclays Center. If you're wondering, if you're in the area and you need something to do tonight and you can get to the Barclays within 15 minutes or even by halftime, I was looking this up because I was curious about the price of the tickets for the Nets against an Israeli basketball team, Hapoel Jerusalem. Last time I checked, $4 a pop to get into the Barclays Center. It's $6 now for the cheapest ticket. So when was the last time you saw a Nets game selling tickets for $4 a pop? But yes, if you have interest and you're in the area, go watch some Nets basketball. You can probably get up close and personal for a pretty cheap sum of money. Creator 861-201. Keep up the good fight, bro. Just got home and going to take a shower before this game starts. Thanks for the info. Creator, you're the best, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in with us. Enjoy the game. Hope it's a good one. Let's go Nets, baby. And again, you can watch that on the Yes Network. Claude says, I'm trying to visualize MPJ and CT playing Jordy's defense. First unselfish style of basketball. Well, let's set the record straight. Cam Thomas doesn't play defense, so we can prefix it with that. But yes, Jordy Fernandez stresses effort, discipline, not so much discipline, but effort, hustle, grit, determination is the word I was looking for. Probably disciplines the guys. I'm not sure. Comes off as a nice, pretty nice guy to the media, to say the least. But yes, let's see if even Jordy Fernandez can instill some defensive values with a full season under Cam Thomas. Or maybe if he's gone at the deadline. Claude Smith, Mark specializes in acquiring cripples. Mark specializes in a lot of things. I would like winning meaningful basketball games to be the next on that list. Finally, wrap up. I admire your optimism, Josh. Claude, you're the best. Thanks to you for tuning in. Thanks to the 70 of you guys in the building. Smash the like and hit subscribe. Daily Brooklyn Nets content from this point on. Now, end of the season. Get in while the getting's good. Subscribe, notifications on to never miss an upload or when we go live. You guys are the best. Like, subscribe. We will be back for the post-game show probably around 11 o'clock. Enjoy the game, folks. It's on the Yes Network. For the first time in months, we can say it's Nets game day. Make us proud, Brooklyn. Let's go Nets. Have a great one, everyone. Enjoy the game, and we will see you on the post-game show.